This warrior was born on a world the Republic left to die. Since childhood, Qymaen watched the Jedi do nothing while his people were enslaved by the millions. That's when he learned that the Force would never save the Kaleesh. Only strength could. So he trained. He killed. He became such a monster that by age 8, he had 40 confirmed kills. And by 22, his people worshipped him as a literal god. Because in a galaxy where the Force decides everything, he proved that pure skill and rage could make you something even Jedi would fear. This galaxy is a place where the Force-blessed rule and the Force-abandoned are crushed beneath them. A creature moves through the tall grass of a jungle. It stops, sniffing the air. Hidden in the brush, a young Kaleesh watches. That is his prey. He reminds himself to stay calm, to remember his father's training. Rifle raised, he steadies the shot. But just as he fires, the beast charges. The sudden movement throws off his aim. The shot goes wide. His father calls out to young Qymaen. He scolds him for missing, but then stops. He notices something in his son's eyes. A burning rage. An unusual fire that needs to be channeled properly. The elder Shilal decides then that this boy is different. His mind is as finely honed as any weapon. He just needs direction. The young warrior remains silent. He stares at the escaping creature, already calculating how he will not miss next time. His father hands him the family rifle, a Tsirka Arms Outland, passed down from his great-grandmother. He tells him to practice until his arms fail, then practice more. Young Qymaen takes the weapon. He does not smile. He does not celebrate. He simply asks when they hunt again. The world he was born into is one of endless war. The Yamri, insectoid creatures the Kaleesh call hook, meaning soulless bugs, invaded his planet seeking slaves. They captured hundreds of millions of his people, sold them into bondage across the galaxy. And the Republic did nothing. When Qymaen arrived in this war, he hoped the Jedi might intervene. He hoped the Senate might send aid. He realized quickly that neither would come. So he changed his goal. That goal is vengeance. With enough kills, he can drive the Huck from Kaleesh. With enough strength, he can become something they fear. While Qymaen is focused on his training, his father calls him over. He points to something in the distance. Smoke rises from a nearby village. The Huck have raided again. His father's expression darkens. He tells his son that this is why they fight. This is why they can never stop. Qymaen stares at the smoke. His grip tightens on the rifle. He does not speak. But something hardens behind his eyes. His father then realizes something. This boy will become either a great warrior or a terrible monster. Perhaps both. A sudden sound echoes through the jungle. Huck war cries. They are close. His father warns there are too many to fight alone. He suggests retreating to gather reinforcements, but Qymaen simply advances toward the sound. His father warns him these are not ordinary raiders. These are Hook shock troops, with their barbed shears that can cut through armor. The young warrior says he will distract them, so his father can warn the village. His father falls silent at his son's attitude. He cannot believe Qymaen is offering himself as bait. Qymaen then realizes something else. These Hook carry technology, weapons, ships. If he kills them all, he can take everything they have. He counts at least 12 hostiles. He calculates that if he captures their equipment, his people gain an advantage. Then he shouts for his targets to wait for him. His father does not understand what is happening. Qymaen raises his rifle in a quick movement. His father questions what kind of reckless strategy that is. The insectoids rush to attack him. He moves quickly. One of the Hook lunges with its barbed forelimbs. The shears slash toward his throat. The young warrior ducks and fires point blank. The creature's head explodes. Another attacks from the side. He is quickly surrounded by the swarm. His father watches the scene, screaming his son's name. Meanwhile, in a village on the other side of Kaleesh, a Kaleesh woman cleans her twin-lig swords. Villagers whisper as she passes. A man warns his child to stay away from her. He says she is the Kumar, the incubus. They say she killed her entire tribe. The woman ignores them. She has heard worse. Her name is Ronderulij Kumar, and she cares nothing for the opinions of cowards. She came from Grendaju, an icy wasteland at Kaleesh's far southern tip where deadly Karabakh predators roam. Unlike most Kaleesh, she claims no tribal affiliation. She prefers life as a wandering mercenary, hiring her sword skills to various chieftains. She wears a Karabakh skull mask, proof she killed one of the most dangerous beasts on the planet. Some say she descends from the ancient Kaleesh gods themselves. Others whisper darker rumors. A tribal elder approaches and asks if she is seeking work. She responds that she is always seeking work. He asks if she will fight the Hook. She asks how much he is paying. Far away in the jungle, Qymaen stands among fallen insectoid bodies. He dusts off his hands. He counts the dead and confirms that 12 Hook fell to his rifle. His father arrives, breathless, and calls for his son. He stares at the carnage, unable to process what he sees. The young warrior is only wondering which pieces of Hook technology are worth salvaging. His father approaches slowly. He asks how this is possible. Qymaen was alone against 12 shock troops. The young warrior simply shrugs. He explains that their movements were predictable, their formations were sloppy, and they underestimated him. His father stares at his son for a long moment. Then he removes his own mask, a mumu skull, carved from one of Kaleesh's deadliest predatory beasts. He tells Qymaen that when he dies, this mask will be his. It belonged to his father before him, and his father's father before that. The young warrior accepts the statement with a nod. He does not say thank you. He simply asks when they hunt again. By age 8, Qymaen had become an expert sniper with more than 40 confirmed Huck kills. His reputation spread across the battlefields of Kaleesh. Warriors twice his age sought his advice on tactics. Chieftains requested his presence at strategic councils. The name Qymaen Jai Shilal became synonymous with death for the Huck. But Qymaen had no choice but to accept a hard truth. Life on Kaleesh was not getting easier. The Huck kept coming. Their technology kept advancing, and his people kept dying. His father was killed fighting the invaders when Qymaen was still young. He inherited the mumu mask and the family rifle. He also inherited a hatred that would never fade. He soon realized just how merciless this galaxy was. The Republic ignored their suffering. The Senate dismissed their pleas. The Jedi never came. The only person he could count on was himself. So he asked himself what he needed to survive in a galaxy dominated by the Force. He needed to become something that transcended normal limitations. Qymaen created a training regimen that pushed his body beyond breaking. He practiced close-quarters combat until his hands bled. He studied Hook anatomy until he knew exactly where to strike for maximum damage. He learned to move through jungles like a ghost and to kill without making a sound. And so his continuous training compounded over time. His reputation grew with every battle. Every campaign added to his legend. He stood before a Hook battalion alone. He cut through them with lig swords borrowed from a fallen comrade. When the last insectoid fell, he stood in a field of bodies, not even breathing hard. With every battle, his body displayed even more overwhelming strength. He felt invigorated, but this was only the beginning. The Kaleesh people watched his exploits with awe. They whispered that he was blessed by the ancestors, that the gods themselves guided his strikes. When his kill count grew so astronomical that it could no longer be accurately tracked, the tribal councils convened. They declared Qymaen Jai Shilal a demigod. In Kaleesh culture, those who performed great deeds in life became gods in death. But Qymaen had achieved so much that they elevated him while still alive. He was now considered a literal religious figure, a living deity of war. The sound of his legend spread across the planet. Hook commanders learned to fear his name. When scouts reported his presence on a battlefield, entire battalions would reroute to avoid him. But Qymaen felt nothing. The title meant nothing. The worship meant nothing. because his people were still dying. His world was still burning, and the galaxy still did not care. One night, Qymaen experiences a prophetic dream. He sees himself in the Kunbal jungle, wielding twin lig swords, slaying a wild mumu beast. The vision is vivid. The details are specific. He can feel the weight of the swords in his hands. Compelled by this dream, he sets out wearing his mumu hunting mask to fulfill the prophecy in reality. What he finds in that jungle transforms his destiny forever. Standing before him is not a mumu, but a Kaleesh woman. She wears a Karabakh skull mask. She wields twin lig swords. She matches the figure from his dream exactly. Qymaen realizes the slayer in his vision had not been himself, but the woman standing before him. They stare at each other across the jungle clearing. Neither speaks. Neither moves. Her name is Ronderu Lij Kumar. Because of this mystical introduction, both warriors become considered living manifestations of an ancient Kaleesh parable called Shilal, meaning the dreamer and the dreamt one. Their fates are now intertwined by prophecy. Ronderu speaks first. She asks if he is the demigod everyone speaks of. He replies that he is just a warrior. She laughs, a cold, sharp sound. She says she has heard that before. She challenges him to a duel. Not to the death, just to see what a demigod is made of. Qymaen accepts without hesitation. The two warriors face off in the jungle. Ronderu moves first, her twin swords flashing in the filtered light. Qymaen blocks with his rifle, then counterattacks. They trade blows at impossible speed. Neither can land a decisive hit. After what feels like hours, they both step back, breathing hard. Ronderu removes her mask, revealing her face for the first time. She tells him that she has fought 1,000 warriors. None have ever matched her. Qymaen removes his own mask. He says the same. From that moment, they become inseparable. Comrades in arms, bound by something even they cannot fully explain. Ronderu teaches Qymaen to wield lig swords with devastating proficiency. In return, he teaches her to use the Zerka Arms Outland rifle, his family heirloom. Together, both clad in their fearsome masks, they become legends. Twin demigods blessed by their ancestors who mercilessly cut through the Hook invaders in countless campaigns. They defend Shrupak, the holiest temple on Kaleesh, from a massive Hook assault. They butcher thousands of Yamri across multiple battlefields. When fighting together, they are considered almost invincible, godlike. The exact nature of their relationship is something outsiders cannot fully comprehend. Are they lovers? Perhaps. Are they siblings in spirit? Perhaps. Both? Maybe. What remains certain is that Ronderu and Qymaen share a total and sacred bond. Years pass. The war continues. But for the first time in his life, Qymaen feels something other than hatred. The tragedy occurs on the beaches of Kaleesh by the Genua Sea. A massive Hook offensive pushes the Kaleesh defenders to their limits. In the chaos of battle, Qymaen and Ronderu become separated. When separated, they are considerably less deadly than when fighting as one. Qymaen cuts through a squad of Hook, searching desperately for her. He calls her name. No answer. He kills another wave of attackers. Still no answer. Then he sees it. Across the beach, a circle of dead Hook surrounding a fallen figure. He runs. He already knows. But he runs anyway. Ronderu lies on the blood-stained sand. The barbed shears of the Yamri have torn through her. Their serrated, clipper-like forelimbs, the natural weapons that make the insectoids so dangerous in close combat, have destroyed the one person he ever truly connected with. Qymaen drops to his knees beside her. She is still breathing. Barely. She tells him not to mourn. She says she will become a god now. She will watch over him from the heavens. Then her eyes close. Before Qymaen can process what has happened, the tide comes in. Hook reinforcements arrive. He is forced to retreat. And when he returns to the beach, her body is gone. The Genua Sea has taken her. In Kaleesh culture, burial sites are sacred. The dead must be properly interred so they can ascend to godhood. Without a body, without a funeral, Ronderu's spirit is lost, denied even the peace of death. The psychological transformation that follows is catastrophic. Qymaen is driven to despair and a horrible psychotic depression. He feels as if his soul is seeping out of an imaginary but painful wound in his gut. Inconsolable, he undertakes a dangerous pilgrimage across the Genoa Sea to Abesme, a great monolith of stone where Kaleesh pilgrims beseech their gods. The place believed to be where deities ascend to the heavens. There, Qymaen implores the gods to resurrect Ronderu from her watery grave, just so he might see her one final time. The gods remain silent. Qymaen spends years trying to move on. He takes 10 wives, he fathers 30 children, but none of them, spouse or child, can fill the emptiness Ronderu's death has left in him. Eventually, he realizes with terrible clarity that it is his destiny to mourn for her as long as he lives. With this realization, he casts off his old identity entirely. He adopts a name more appropriate to a being destined to grieve forever. That name is Grievous, and he is determined that he will not grieve alone. He will bring grief to others across the galaxy. The warlord called Grievous gathers around him the Isvashra, a cadre of exactly 8 elite Kaleesh warriors. 8 is a sacred number to his people. Each Isvashra is an almost unbeatable fighter in their own right, serving as a Khan, commanding their own brigade of soldiers. Adopting the title of Kagan, Supreme Military Commander, Grievous reorganizes the entire Kaleesh military into 8 divisions and launches a devastating campaign of vengeance. He drives the Yamri completely off Kali. But his bitterness does not end with liberation. Grievous pushes the war to the Yamri colony worlds themselves. He massacres civilians and soldiers alike. He co-ops Huck technology and ships, capturing all their systems. He attacks colonists and the Huck homeworld itself. His attacks result in the mass destruction of entire Huck planets. Sources across the galaxy describe Grievous during this period as the most vicious warlord Kaylee has ever encountered. He is compared to Zim the Despot, the ancient galactic tyrant who conquered whole sectors through brutality. Over decades of warfare, his elite forces gain unmatched combat experience and tactical savvy. He overthrows nations. He kills kings. He murders legends. His name is feared by warriors and cursed by widows across multiple star systems. But Grievous does not care about fear or curses. He only cares about one thing: making the galaxy feel what he feels. Facing near total destruction, the Yamri petition the Galactic Senate for intervention. They claim the Kaleesh started the conflict. They paint themselves as innocent victims of unprovoked aggression. It is a lie. The Hook invaded Kali. They enslaved millions. They started everything. But the Yamri have something the Kaleesh do not. They have the backing of the Trade Federation. The Trade Federation uses its considerable political influence to push for a decision favorable to the insectoids. The Senate believes the fabricated narrative. They accept the Hook version of events, despite all evidence to the contrary. The Republic dispatches a Jedi task force. 50 knights and masters arrive on Kali. 2 Jedi lead this intervention. The first is T'Chuka De'un, a human male from Nubia who openly favors and supports the Yamri. The Kaleesh give him a bitter nickname, the Executioner of Kali. The second is Jamar, a crab-like Viren-Tess Jedi Master, serving as mitigator between the two species. Due to enormous pressure from the Trade Federation's Senate influence, there is little the Jedi can do but rule against the Kaleesh. The Republic levels harsh sanctions and war reparations against Kaylee. Economic embargoes, hefty fines, trade restrictions, forced payments to the Hook. From Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum's perspective, a diplomatic solution has been reached. On the ground of Kaylee, the reality is catastrophic. The sanctions plunge Kaylee into economic devastation. The planetary economy completely collapses. Trade is strangled. Hundreds of thousands of Kaleesh starve and die. Grievous is forced to return to his family as the war ends. He watches helplessly as his wives die of starvation. His children are kidnapped and subjected to immense depravity. The Kolkpravis, his elite warrior force, find themselves defeated and broken, their crusade ruined, their homeworld impoverished. Grievous stands in the ashes of everything he built. His people are dying around him, and the Jedi made it happen. A deep, burning hatred takes root in his heart, not just for the Huck anymore, for the Republic, for the Senate, for the Jedi who handed down the death sentence on his world, especially for T'Chuka De'un and Jamar. He will remember their names. Into this devastation comes an unexpected visitor. San Hill, chairman of the intergalactic banking clan, arrives on Kaleesh with a proposition. Hill has watched Grievous's military campaigns with great interest. He sees potential, incredible potential. He offers Grievous a position as an IGBC collections agent and enforcer. In exchange for his services, the banking clan will take on Kaleesh's massive debt. They will help his people overcome the effects of the embargo. Grievous feels disgust at the offer. He would become a glorified leg breaker for a soulless megacorporation, a thug collecting debts for bankers. But he understands what the agreement would mean for his starving people. He accepts. Grievous takes command of the banking clan's private army of droid enforcers. He becomes their weapon, their attack dog. He does work that shames him because it saves his people. The IGBC keeps its promise. They alleviate Kaleesh's deficit. They resuscitate trade. Children stop dying of starvation. His people begin to recover. For a time, the arrangement works. Grievous buries his pride and does what must be done. Then the Yamri commit one final outrage. They desecrate sacred Kaleesh burial grounds on the colony world of Oban. They dig up the bones of Grievous's ancestors. They destroy the resting places of warriors who died fighting for their people. In Kaleesh culture, this is the ultimate sacrilege. The burial sites are where the dead become gods. To destroy them is to destroy the souls of the departed. Grievous petitions the Republic to intervene, to punish this clear violation. The Republic does nothing. Furious, Grievous abandons his contract with the banking clan. He gathers his Izvoshra aboard a shuttle called the Martyr. He will return to war. He will make the Hook pay for what they have done. San Hill is enraged at losing his enforcer. He has invested too much in Grievous to let him simply walk away. So he conspires with powerful allies. Poggle the Lesser, Archduke of Geonosis, a Sith Lord called Darth Sidious, his apprentice, Count Dooku. They devise a plan to ensure Grievous's permanent servitude. Before launching his renewed attack on the Hook, Grievous is blessed by a Kaleesh holy man. His Izvoshra warriors surround him on the shuttle. Everything seems normal. What Grievous does not know is that an ion bomb has been planted aboard the Martyr. His pilot seat has been rigged for remote-guided ejection. Count Dooku watches through electrobinoculars from a concealed location. He waits for the perfect moment. The shuttle rises into the sky above Kaleesh. Dooku activates the bomb. The Martyr explodes mid-flight. The blast sends the shuttle plunging into the Junua Sea, the same waters that took Ronderu from him years ago. Dooku remotely ejects Grievous at the last moment. He uses a Sith technique called heart stun to keep him from dying of cardiac arrest. 7 of the 8 Izvoshra perish in the crash. Only Bentalai's San Skar survives. To complete the deception, Dooku plants evidence suggesting the Jedi themselves were responsible for the attack. False transmissions, planted debris, fabricated witness accounts. Grievous's existing hatred for the Jedi transforms into murderous rage. They did not just condemn his world. They did not just let his people starve. They tried to kill him. Everything he ever believed about the Jedi is confirmed. They are not peacekeepers. They are executioners hiding behind robes and lightsabers. San Hill arranges for a banking clan frigate to accidentally detect Grievous's escape pod beacon. When Grievous regains consciousness, he is floating in a Bacta tank on Geonosis. He is furious to learn a shuttle crash injured him so severely. He survived years of brutal warfare. He killed thousands of enemies, and a simple malfunction nearly ended him. He looks down at what remains of his body. The damage is catastrophic. Grievous requests that his healers allow him a warrior's death. He would rather die than live broken. Instead, Sand Hill offers him rebirth. What remains of Grievous's original body is limited. His brain has been heavily modified. His distinctive golden, slit-pupilled eyes are intact. His spinal column, parts of his head, his heart, cold and weakened by the trauma. A pair of lungs, damaged and irritated, causing a permanent cough he will never lose. His liver, portions of his digestive system. These organs are housed in a pressurized synth-skin gut sac impervious to vacuum, protected behind armored ribs. Poggle the Lesser's Geonosian scientists rebuild Grievous with technology reminiscent of a Krath war droid. They implant his brain and eyes into a duranium alloy body. His new form features mechanical legs with magnetized talons, 2 electro-driven mechanical arms that can split at dislocating shoulders to create 4 arms total. Each hand possesses dual opposable thumbs and articulated fingers capable of wielding weapons with terrifying precision. Crystal circuitry improves his reaction times beyond anything organic. Millions of pinpoint electrodes inserted into his brain from his helmet's lining monitor brain activity and increase nerve signal speed. Crucially, Count Dooku provides blood from the frozen corpse of Jedi Master Sifo Dyas to keep Grievous's body alive during transit to Geonosis. This midichlorian-rich blood does not grant Grievous force powers, but it sustains him, and it may have somewhat attuned him to learning Jedi combat techniques. What Grievous does not know, what he will never know, is that the Geonosians extensively modify his brain without his consent. They suppress disturbing memories. They enhance his rage centers. They install a kill switch controlled by Dooku. They improve his equilibrium and combat reflexes. They make him more obedient to his masters. Dooku orders his brain scrubbed of most of his memories. The man called Qymaen Jai Shilal is systematically erased. His sanity is broken. His mind is fractured. Grievous never learns that Dooku was responsible for his destruction. He never learns the Jedi were framed. He never learns the truth. He only knows hatred, and that is exactly what they want. Count Dooku personally trains Grievous in all 7 forms of lightsaber combat. The Sith Lord recognizes that Grievous is a voracious learner when it comes to dealing death. The differing saber styles are essentially extra-military techniques for him to master. Grievous spends hours watching holovids of Jedi in combat. He reads every training manual Dooku can supply. He studies their movements, their patterns, their weaknesses. Dooku teaches him the obscure lightsaber technique called Lusma. He is shocked when Grievous surpasses all of his previous students in mere weeks. Eventually, the cyborg fights on par with Dooku himself in training. The idea that a non-force-sensitive being could defeat trained Jedi is considered nearly impossible. The Force grants Jedi precognitive abilities, superhuman reflexes, telekinetic powers, the ability to sense attacks before they happen. Grievous has none of this. He overcomes it through extreme cybernetic enhancement. His speed exceeds anything organic. His arms can literally vanish, wiped from existence by sheer mind-numbing speed. His multiple limbs allow him to wield 4 lightsabers simultaneously. Flexible joints and robotic reflexes enable impossible angles of attack. And crucially, Dooku teaches him to weaponize fear, surprise, and intimidation before combat even begins. The key to killing Jedi is disrupting their concentration, breaking their connection to the Force, making them afraid. When a Jedi is afraid, they are just flesh and bone, like anyone else. Grievous's first lightsaber is the weapon of Jedi Master Sifo Dyas, the same Jedi whose blood now flows through his veins. Dooku presents it as a gift upon completing his training. His first confirmed Jedi kill as a cyborg is Jedi Master Ur Semadu in the catacombs beneath Geonosis. Her lightsaber marks the beginning of his dark triumphs. He claims her weapon and adds it to his collection. There will be many more. Grievous's public debut occurs at the Battle of Hypori. A Jedi task force discovers a separatist droid factory on the planet, but orbital mines destroy most Republic transports upon arrival. The surviving Jedi shelter in the wreckage of an acclimator assault ship. Among them are Masters Ki-Adi Mundi and Shak Ti. Knights Aayla Secura, Tar Seer, and Kukruk, Padawan Shah Agi. They believe they are safe. They are wrong. Grievous stalks them through the wreckage. His metallic footsteps echo in the darkness. The Jedi ignite their lightsabers, forming a defensive circle. A voice emerges from the shadows. Grievous announces himself. He tells the Jedi they are surrounded. Their armies have been decimated. He instructs them to make peace with the Force now, for this is their final hour. But he adds that he is not completely without mercy. He will grant them a warrior's death. Padawan Shah Agi cannot control his terror. Overwhelmed with fear, he breaks from cover and charges blindly at the voice. Grievous crushes him under his heel. The remaining Jedi attack. Grievous engages all of them simultaneously. He wields 3 lightsabers, one in each hand, one gripped by his foot. His movements are faster than the human eye can track. He nearly kills Ki-Adi-Mundi. He would have succeeded if ARC troopers had not arrived for extraction. Jedi Knight Tar Seer is not so fortunate. Grievous crushes his head beneath his foot. When the survivors escape, they spread word of what happened on Hypori. Republic news services give the cyborg a new title, the Night Slayer. The revelation that Jedi, the galaxy's legendary peacekeepers believed nearly invincible, are being systematically hunted by this mysterious cyborg sends shockwaves through the Republic. Citizens who once felt safe under Jedi protection now feel fear. If the Jedi can be killed, no one is safe. During the Clone Wars, Grievous finally achieves his personal vengeance. Jedi Masters T'Chuka Du'un and Jamar, the 2 Jedi who condemned his world, are sent on a mission to rescue Ambassador Qymaen on the planet Vandos. Grievous learns of their location. He arrives before them. The executioner of Kaleesh, the Jedi who let his people starve, the ones who sided with the Hook and destroyed everything he loved. They are finally within his reach. The battle is not close. T'Chuka Du'un is a skilled Jedi Master. Jamar is a seasoned Master as well. Neither stands a chance. Grievous takes his time with them. He wants them to understand what is happening. He wants them to know why they are dying. He personally kills both Jedi Masters. He claims their lightsabers as trophies. The executioner of Kaleesh is brutally sliced apart at last. Grievous's collection eventually grows to an estimated 100 lightsabers. Each one represents a Jedi he has killed. Each one is a monument to his vengeance. Among his trophies is even the double-bladed weapon of the legendary Darth Zana. The galaxy knows him now. Not as Qymaen Jai Shilal, the demigod of Kaleesh. Not as the warrior who lost everything. They know only the monster. General Grievous, Supreme Commander of the Separatist Droid Army. The Night Slayer, the terror that hunts Jedi in the darkness. But beneath the duranium armor, beneath the modified brain and the rage-enhanced synapses, something of the original man remains. He still wears a faceplate designed to resemble his Mumu hunting mask, the symbol of Kaleesh warrior tradition, the inheritance from his father. He still dresses his Magna Guard droids in Kaleesh cloaks with Mumu markings, a tribute to his fallen Isvoshra, a memory of the warriors who died because of Dooku's betrayal, though he does not know it was Dooku. And sometimes, in the quiet moments between battles, Grievous retreats to his fortress on the 3rd moon of Vasek. There, surrounded by Kaleesh statues depicting his former self and ancient architecture, he performs something that might be meditation, or might be mourning. Grievous never got over Ronderu's death, not through his years as the most vicious warlord Kaleesh had ever known, not through his transformation into a cyborg, not through the Clone Wars. He carries her loss with him always. It is the engine that drives his hatred, the wound that never heals. In a galaxy ruled by the Force, General Grievous became something the Force-blessed could not predict. A being of pure physical mastery and mechanical precision who killed Jedi through skill and rage alone. The Force did not choose him. The Force did not bless him. The Force gave him nothing. And he proved that you do not need the Force to become a monster. You only need enough pain. On Utapau, Grievous meets his end at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Jedi Master blasts his organic components with a blaster, igniting them. Grievous burns from the inside out. But some sources suggest that in his final moments, Grievous found what he had been seeking since Ronderu died on those beaches long ago: a warrior's death. The end he had desired since the day the Genuasi took the only person who ever understood him. In the New Republic era, something unexpected happens. General Grievous joins his species' pantheon of religious deities on Kaleesh. The monster, the murderer, the night slayer. He becomes a god. A female Kaleesh, believed to be the second incarnation of Ronderu Li Kumar, rises to lead the Kolkpravis. She carries twin lig swords. She wears a Karabakh skull mask. The dreamer and the dreamt one, reunited at last, not in life, in legend. This is the story of General Grievous, a warrior who became a demigod who became a monster who proved that in a galaxy where the Force decides everything, pure strength and undying hatred can make you something even gods would fear. The strong drink the blood of the weak. That is the law of the galaxy. But sometimes, the weak become strong enough to drown everyone in blood, even the Jedi.